Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Corey. 2020.
2020. Welcome to the Cheshire Cast. I am Corey.
And I'm Trisha.
See? No titles. I'm on a roll. It's like 3 episodes in a row. I got rid of it. It's just Corey and Trisha. But, you know, whatever.
You're a host. I'm a host. We host.
We're
we
hosts.
host together. Isn't that a song? No, it's not.
It could be.
I promise I won't sing anymore.
With my collective friends,
Sure.
I'm sure one of us can come up with a song like that.
We had a lot of rugby songs, and that sounds like one. That could be one.
Oh, what, like a bus full of you guys?
Not a bus, more like a tavern or a bar or a woods with a keg, and everybody just gets together and you sing and drink and do all sorts of like ritualistic, traditional things. And there's songs and you memorize them because if you mess up, you have to drink from a shoe.
I just have this image of a bus, a very small bus full of girls, because I'm assuming you were on a female rugby team.
I was, but we always traveled and played the same times and teams as the men, so we always traveled together. It was like a big family.
So one big...
Vans, yeah. We didn't have a bus, but yes, it was big vans.
A big van.
We didn't sing in the vans.
No, so people weren't... Because the image I have is you guys are hanging out the windows.
Debauchery. No, we
with
weren't.
striped shirts on.
Yeah, we had some stripes. There was definitely stripes
singing and yelling and being silly and drunk.
We were very reserved until game time, of course. There's
a reserved rugby team. Okay.
Yeah, and then but after the match, at the drink ups or at celebrations, we were still, respectful, but we imbibed and sang.
Any
I drank from a boot or two in my time.
So I tried to get you over here New Year's Day, but you were painfully hungover.
I was painfully hungover.
So apparently you had a good night.
I did. Cider got me. Cider can really sneak up on you.
You got to pay attention.
Yeah, but we were having so much fun, and the music was great, and the conversation was great, and we were playing some trivia, and next thing you know, I'm just like,
you know who didn't get a hangover?
Who?
Me.
It's practice. I'm out of practice.
I think it's more because I'm a fat guy.
You think?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm not that svelte. I can.
You're not 237 pounds.
Oh, but I'm also not 6 foot whatever.
6'0".
I was gonna say you're not 6'6", Corey. I'm sorry. Even with shoes, it's not happening.
Well, I do have my 4-inch stilettos.
I've seen them. They're great.
That only makes me 6'4", though. See, I could do math.
They have bejeweled owls on
them.
They're beautiful.
They do. And I have my owl earrings and then my headpiece that I wear.
Okay, this is going really bad. Let's not go down that road anymore. Feathers, no.
So you wouldn't come over there. So this is the first time I see you since New Year. And have you made any New Year's resolutions?
I actually really thought about it, and I did.
Okay.
My New Year's resolution seems altruistic, but it's kind of selfish.
All right.
I'm going to practice to be a better human this year.
Okay.
But for selfish reasons.
So you're starting off in the wrong spot then.
Well, I figure if you're trying to be a better person for selfish reasons, I guess it's a win for everybody.
It is.
I agree.
It's true.
I don't want to be all altruistic and holier than thou, but I really am going to practice my inner voice needs to be kinder, not only to myself, but to my surroundings.
Me?
No, not you.
Okay.
Everyone but you.
I've made a resolution.
What are they?
I gotta eat better.
You do?
Yeah.
You went plant-based, Corey.
I did.
Okay. What does that even mean? That sounds new agey.
It kind of is.
Okay. Is it vegan?
No.
Okay.
Not exactly. And it's not vegetarian either. It's some weird hybrid of all of that stuff.
Paleo without the meat?
Maybe.
I don't know what paleo is either.
Well, paleo is what they
raw
thought that Neanderthal man was eating. But I think one of the things they neglected to think about when they're digging up, all this archaeological stuff, they find all these cutters and everything else. They find records of animals being around and so on and so forth, but they never found any evidence of plants. Why can't plants be a major part of our diet?
Oh, I'm sure they did.
And I'm sure it was a major part of theirs.
Yeah. And medicine too.
So I've been reading and watching a bunch of documentaries, and
how's it been?
It's rather interesting to go through day to day trying to eat healthy and plant-based.
You have to pay much more attention to what you're eating.
You do, and there's not a lot of places that cater to that type of diet. And I don't want to use the word diet like I'm on a diet.
It's a style of eating.
It's
a preference.
Yes.
Okay.
Not that, if somebody wants to have a steak, fine. I might have a steak in 6 months. I don't know.
You're trying it out. You're seeing how it fits.
But finding the places to buy the type of food, the healthier food, the better stuff, trying to eat like on the run, it gets very difficult.
The grab and go kind of stuff.
Yes.
That's pre-planning. That's all in the planning, I'm sure.
It is, and that's something we're learning to do. And the cool part about doing this podcast is I get to actually bring people in that kind of can help me a little bit with what I'm doing and also sell food
that you can eat.
That is,
that you can eat that's good.
Yeah. So why don't you introduce them? Because I love it when you try to.
I'm not messing it up.
But this and it's a good thing we got that because my new healthy eating kind of plays right into our guests.
Our guests and the whole new year and new beginnings.
Yeah.
Look at that. So this week our guests are Caroline and Chris Dircks. They are purveyors of fine foods, opening up a new establishment in the watch factory called Olive and Henry. Welcome, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I can't wait to hear all about the store because it's a specialty store that sounds really fun.
And it fits into what I'm doing, yeah?
Yes.
From what I understand.
Yeah, I really liked your comment about we've been referring to it as dietary lifestyles.
Yes.
Not diets, not restrictions. Restrictions just sound so negative. So
yeah,
and nobody likes being restricted.
No, and so
it depends.
All right.
But we have a lot of family members that have different dietary lifestyles,
and some have legitimate restrictions.
Yep.
But for others, it's a choice, health based or because gluten free that's a restriction, but the plant based, that's a choice and kind of new, and you guys probably have to deal with all of that.
Right. And the idea is to have a wide variety. So you're not necessarily catering to any one particular group. People can come in and have the opportunity to see food styles across the board. So including vegetarian and gluten-free and vegan, as well as your normal meat and dairy, cheeses and meats.
Yeah, so inclusion's a big word we like to talk about as well.
Variety. So,
having children that are vegetarian and vegan, there's this frustration of them going to a party and here's this beautiful spread and then, here's a pile of carrots and celery for you.
Right.
So by us carrying some more, some of the finer foods that would fit into a cartoucherie and a very nice party spread.
Cartoucherie.
You're not.
I'm not going to be able to say that word.
I've been calling it charcuterie for so long. Can you please pronounce it for me?
I say cartoucherie.
Cartoucherie.
But
Cartoucherie.
Spelling it's even harder.
Thank you for pronouncing that for me in the correct way.
Is it spelled CHARCUTERIE?
Charcuterie. Charcuterie.
Because that's what I wrote down.
I love that particular style of eating. The tapas, the small plate, the variety,
right.
The hard meats, the hard cheeses, but olives. So explain to us, what kind of foods are you going to have?
So you just described a pretty large portion.
Okay.
The cheeses, the meats, the olives, the jellies, jams, mustards, and other dry goods, crackers, coffees, teas, things that you can imagine when you're having a party and you want to put together a big appetizer or picky kind of a menu. And one of the things we want to really focus on are unique items, right? So these are not going to be items that you can find in the large big box chain kind of stores. These are going to be items they're all going to be small batch. They're going to be coming from either local sources or other small batch food manufacturers around
Specialty
the country.
items.
Right. So you're going to find things that you're not going to find anywhere else, which is another aspect that's really interesting to us.
And really that board and that that spread is whenever we're looking at a new product and trying to understand, is this something we should carry? We don't want to go too far away from the board we talk about. So that's
Like
that's a
that
great
board that you put out with the knife and
Yeah.
some napkins.
Oh,
correct. So the meat and the cheese and then everything that kind of goes along with that. Trilly's trying to stay focused on that, but
Right.
but including all the
It's the best part of a
accoutrements.
party.
Exactly.
what an interesting way to approach that industry. I think that, I think people think the whole entire kitchen or the entire party when they think about lamb, but to stick, that's an interesting way to go about it. I think
It's just a little kind of
It's how you focused
marker.
your.
Yeah. We want to
your
stay
intent.
focused and do something very, very well.
Mm.
We don't want to get too far spread and
But we-
dilute what we're able to do. So
But we will have, even though that's the main focus, we are going to have some other items that will just give us a little bit more flexibility as well, right? So we'll have some pre-made salads. We'll have some bakery items hopefully from local Cheshire bakeries and things like that for to come in and get your morning coffee and maybe you want a muffin or at lunchtime, you're kind of tired of the usual sandwiches or fast food and you get a pre-made salad. You just come and pick it up.
Like an antipasto or something.
That as well as a green salad.
Okay.
So there'll be some of those options as well for people.
And you guys are going in the watch factory shops, right?
Yes.
So we've got another healthier style of dining in Kiss Cafe. You guys are, in relation to where they are, you're on the upper level, correct?
No, we're on the lower level.
You're on the same level as where the restaurant is? Trying to
that-
remember.
actually,
They're on the upper level.
They're on the upper level. Yeah, okay. You haven't, I know you're new to town, Trisha, still.
Ish.
2 years.
Yeah.
The watch factory shops, if you haven't been there, it gets a little confusing
Okay.
walking through the back.
I
Even
think
me,
I've been in the parking lot over there. Is there like I don't know,
There's-
maybe
there's
a
a-
UPS box or something over there I had to use one time?
yeah, there's a bunch of parking lots back there.
Okay.
Beautiful facility, beautiful building. It's
I know there's like possibly a daycare center over there.
there is.
Yeah. Okay.
It used to be
so it's
owned.
multi-purpose.
Yeah, it was owned by the Ulbrich family years back. It's factory style, a lot of open floor plan and
Very
so
cool.
forth.
yeah, we're really enjoying being there. We looked at a few other spots around town. We really wanted to stay in Cheshire. And this unit just sort of fell in our lap, and we're just loving the sense of community.
Mm.
The daycare center, the kids are always walking by,
Oh.
peering in to see about construction.
How big of a space do you have?
I don't know,
It's 1,100 square feet.
Okay, so it's a decent size for
It's
a
a lot
store.
of yummy food.
Yeah.
It is a good size. Yeah.
So you guys, do you live in Cheshire?
Yes.
we do.
How did you wind up in Cheshire?
I've been here for about 30 years. I'm by training, I'm a scientist. So I've worked in pharmaceutical industry. I did my postgraduate work down at Yale, which is what brought me to Cheshire all those years ago, and then ended up staying here.
Were you working for what was the one that just left?
Bristol Myers.
Um,
That's where I was.
oh no, I was
And
thinking
they just left.
Did they?
Alexion. Yeah.
Yep.
Because most of the scientists I've met in town have worked at Alexion.
Yep. Nope. And that was not me.
We have a lot of Yale connection in Cheshire. I feel like
Yes.
it's where people who work and, the careers are centered around education and even the arts plant here for, the get a house, your kids can go to school here and it's close travel.
How about you, Chris?
I'm originally from Long Island,
Okay.
but spent a good 20, 25 years in New Haven, and then came up here after we got married a year ago. So
Oh,
congratu-
newlyweds! Congratulations.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we dated back in the early 2000s during both of our biotech days.
Okay.
And
From biotech to gourmet specialty foods.
they're
not too far removed.
Crazy run, but
I mean, cheese is in itself a chemistry experiment.
Well, that's true.
So hold on a second. There's a story here. So you guys dated back in the early 2000s, and
Yep.
then
Correct.
and then what? You just didn't call her back?
He
I
ghosted.
ghosted
You
her.
ghosted her?
Not quite.
You ghosted him?
No.
Life gets busy.
Life gets busy,
gets busy.
and we went on different paths.
We both
I guess
had
you could say.
small kids at the
We
time.
both have a bunch of kids, so
younger kids. At
How
the
many
time.
between the two of you?
5.
5 now. Yeah.
Okay.
And they're all grown and in college or out of college.
Okay.
So it's a lot less complicated now. So.
So it's a little easier to be a couple?
I'm glad to hear it gets a lot less complicated.
It does. It does.
Oh, I hope so. It's not so bad. I mean,
No.
I put the boys in front of computers and they just yell and scream, and then Emily
You're a much more active parent than that.
listens.
Give yourself more credit.
And Emily just listens to music. Doesn't bother me.
I just had a big conversation with my 10-year-old the other day because I had explained to him how less screen time is going to be the way that we're moving. And it kind of panicked him a little.
Mm.
So he had a little bit of a moment,
Mm-hmm.
and we sat down and we talked about growth and change, and I'm learning as a parent and he's learning as a kid, and we're going to grow and learn together. It's a team.
Yeah.
But it's, man,
My favorite is when I take
life is
them.
continuous change.
I
It
take
is.
the kids camping and they kind of wig out for 2 days.
Right.
Like little heroin addicts.
He was fine with it. I think it was just the initial thought. He just saw impending doom, and
Yeah.
you know what? One step at a time. We will get through everything together. And he's been great with it, of course.
Good.
It's between sports for him, so he has all this time to fill, and it's easy just to play video games and watch videos.
So you guys, I mean, to get into selling, to go from the biotech industry into a healthy grocery store, you must have a healthy eating lifestyle of sorts, or completely, or can we go into that? Like, I mean, were you in Whole Foods one day, said, a mini version of this would be cool? I mean, how did we get there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, our favorite meal is cartoucherie. I mean, when you just don't feel like cooking and it's Friday night and we just make a big spread of all this stuff and we love it. So when we were thinking about what to do, because we both wanted to start a business here in Cheshire.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a passion project.
It
It was. And so your point about, a lot of Yale connections up here, and that's sort of one of the things we're almost relying on. There's people that are used to being in an area that's got a little more to offer in the way of food options and culinary delights and such. And I felt that moving up here from New Haven. I lived downtown New Haven for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, well, what do we like that we can't get? And we're tired of driving a half hour, 40 minutes for some of the kind of items that we're going to have right here in Cheshire. And so that was a big driver. Like, what do we want? It's not here. Let's just open a store that does that. That was a big driver. So
Nice.
That's a smart business plan.
It is.
What would we go out of our way to get? And let's provide that within, a minute drive instead of a half hour drive. It's really smart.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. What kind of style? I know he's said kind of like a grocery store, but I know you might have sit-in. What's the style? What's your expectation?
Yeah, we call it a gourmet food shop. So right now there's no seating. It's more, you come in to purchase the things that you're going to bring home, and then use it for your party or whatever. When the weather gets nicer, we may have some bistro tables out front for people who have their coffee and muffin and want to sit for a minute. But we think of it more as a in and out. You're just going to kind of come in, get what you need, and then go on your way.
And there were some limits from zoning and classification and the space available to what we could do in there anyway. There's the opportunity to expand into more of a sit-down kind of place, but for now, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Grab and go.
And part of the interest too is based on your own lifestyle, I'd imagine. I mean, are you vegan, vegetarian, plant eater?
So I personally was a vegetarian for a long time, and now I'm a pescatarian. So I eat fish and vegetables, but I have to taste the product. I'm not going to tell somebody, oh, this prosciutto is fantastic. I don't want to say that if I haven't tasted it.
Right.
So, I'm not super rigid, but I'm there, 95% of the time
Which
is fish. And of that, 90% of that time is mostly, vegetarian. And obviously cheese. So ovolactin, I think, is one of the terms. So
Yep.
I eat eggs and milk.
Yep.
As
So
well.
many terms.
there
know.
are.
There are.
There are.
But I have to think, I have a daughter who's a vegan, and a son who's vegetarian,
And I have a son who's just about vegan now. And my daughter eats meat, but she has some dietary. If she ever hears this, she'll yell at me for saying restrictions, but she does.
Criteria.
So, she kind of does better on the gluten-free, and my other son just kind of eats everything. But, as
I
we've been
have one of those.
as we've been talking about this with people, people just come out of the woodwork. Oh, I'm gluten-free. Oh, my daughter is vegan. Oh, my son can't eat dairy. All these people are coming out of the woodwork, and we're like, oh yeah, we'll have that for you. We'll have that for you. So, that's kind of the idea is to make sure we're as inclusive as we can with high-end, unique foods.
What's cool is that you can go to a store like you with those, stipulations on what you want to eat, and you can find something that fits that diet that might not be something you would have been exposed to somewhere else.
Right.
So somebody with a more adventurous type of spirit can, even with those dietary, necessities, can go in and kind of still be a little adventurous.
Right.
It's fun.
Right.
yeah, we want people to be able to walk up to a beautiful spread at a party and know that there's going to be something for them there. They shouldn't have to be looking for that other table and that other little platter.
Or taking the snacks out of their bag that they can eat.
Which having a vegan daughter, that happens a lot,
So
And,
you're trying to do away with the just the bowl of sliced peppers and carrots and
Although those
celery.
are great too. Dipped in some hummus.
Here
so
you go,
good.
vegetarians. But that's and talking about the change in lifestyle and diet. That's what I'm finding is when you tell somebody you're eating plant-based or whatever, they just assume it's like, okay, so you just eat celery and carrots and lettuce and cucumbers. Like, well, there's a lot.
We live in a
stuff.
land of abundance. We do.
Yes.
Right.
We can eat and find any nationality of food. There's so many. I mean, there are entire cultures that are based on meatless meals. We're just, we're coming to an age in our culture that it's okay to say, I will eat this, I won't eat that. Where I think in like the 50s, it was eat what you have in front of you, clean your plate, and go away. It's
that's
not
how
so
we
much
grew
that.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. What in front of you, and you go to bed if you don't. If
Well,
you're
you
not-
ate whatever was on Leave It to Beaver. That was,
Or you
people
went-
would go and
or
see
you-
that meal.
You went to bed hungry, right?
Yeah, very much.
I'm coming to terms with that with my teenager, and it took me a bit because it is a whole thought process change. And once the doctor said, really, he needs much less protein than you think he does. And I'm like, oh, I need to learn about nutrition. If he's going to be so picky with what he's eating, I have to learn to be okay to know, oh, he's met what he needs nutritionally. I have
Sure.
to let go.
So you guys, I mean, this is like a retirement thing. Are you still working full time and doing this?
So I am still working full time.
Okay.
So I'm a chief operations officer at a small biotech company down in the Shoreline.
Okay.
And I plan to stay in that role for foreseeable future.
Okay.
And Chris is going to be working full time with the store.
He's taking care of business.
But I'll be there on the weekends and even some the nights are open late and things like that.
Maybe for lunch once a week.
Yeah.
I want to know what your most, you must have been excited to get some sort of item in the store. Something's hard to get or something that you've tasted that you haven't seen around. Can you pinpoint any, one specialty food that you're like, we have this, this truffle cheese that everybody has to try? Or, because I know some things can be hard to get.
Well, we have, so we're not open yet, but we have a truffle hot sauce called Truffle. And I don't know if you've heard of them, but they are on Oprah's favorites for 2019. She gave, everyone to her audience, and so it's quite a famous hot sauce, and it's really good.
Oh my God, it's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Is it hot?
They
There's
have
grades of hot.
they have
Okay.
3 different ones, and one of them will blow the top of your head off,
What
but
would you
really good.
We just had
A truffle
a
shell.
truffle guy and a guy who sells truffles for
What would you put truffle hot sauce on?
Sabatino? Foods?
Everything.
Sabatini, I think.
Yeah, you put it on everything.
You put it on everything.
Yeah, you put it.
That's great.
It's really
That's
good.
a tagline I've heard before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true.
Truffle hot sauce.
So when are you guys going to be open?
Well, actually, before I mean, one of the things we're looking to do, and left information about your band. So I don't know if you know about the NPR Tiny Desk concerts, Tiny Desk sessions.
Yeah.
So my brothers I have 4 brothers, all musicians, and I dabble
Oh,
myself.
very cool.
So what we're planning to do some after-hour cheese shop sessions. They're called, bringing in
Very
some local
cool.
talent.
Okay.
Just 2 or 3 people, acoustic, shot right in front of the big cheese case, and
Excuse me.
crowded
I need to get to the brie.
So I'll connect with you later about
Yeah,
it. But
sure.
It's those kind of things. We don't always want to kind of really be part of the community and just bring a lot of Caroline and
That
Chris
just
to the game.
sounds so hip. It really does.
It does.
It sounds so
We're trying.
hip. Like just going in there, I would feel like.
Sounds very New York to me.
Does it?
Yeah,
It sounds very
I like it.
Main Street Greenwich to me.
Yeah, it's same difference.
Oh, I think I have a different flavor, but it sounds great.
That's the thing. We
Thank
want to
you.
be the place where people want to go and hang out.
What do your brothers do are they professional musicians or are they hobby musicians?
Let's see. So 2 of them actually ran an acoustic podcast. I think at one time it was the most downloaded acoustic podcast on iTunes at one point.
Okay.
Down on Long Island.
We're in Long Island, by the way.
Actually, I grew up in Hicksville. Shout out to Hicksville.
We have
Hicksville Station.
a
Hicksville.
listener there.
Maybe we will now. It'll hit something. I went to school in Stony Brook, so I have
Oh, okay. So I think I have 2 nieces and nephews going to be there starting. in
Great
the
school.
fall. So
go see
and
me.
then one of them plays in like 3 or 4 jazz trios down in Westchester now.
Oh, cool.
And the 4th, my oldest brother doesn't really do much anymore. He was a drummer, so he kind of lays low now. So
He was the drummer. See what kind of respect drummers get? None.
I remember.
Hey, he's the drummer.
I remember we had it. I'm learning a lot about the music industry just from being in this atmosphere because it's a lot of creativity, artists. There's a lot of music connection, and a lot of our guests have ties to music. So I have learned so much. And one of the things we did talk about early on was the respect that drummers
Don't get.
or don't get. Yeah,
You play music too, Caroline?
you
I
listen
don't.
to music.
I listen to music. Yeah. I don't play.
You have siblings?
I have 2 siblings.
Do they play music?
They do not.
Not a musical
Are
family.
they scientists?
One of them is. One of them is not.
Holy mackerel! There's 2 scientists. Your parents gave birth to 2 scientists.
They did.
Your parents are smart too.
They are. They're not scientists.
Very logical.
What does the other one do that's not a scientist?
Well, he is an engineer. He's not really a scientist, but
I wouldn't tell him.
It's science. It's science of a different nature.
he's a chemical engineer. So he's kind of a scientist.
That's totally a scientist.
He's kind of a scientist.
That's totally in the scientist
There's
column.
3 scientists.
He's a chemical engineer with like Dow. What does he do? What a fun time to be a chemical engineer. We're learning so much.
He works at MIT Lincoln Labs.
There you go.
And my 3 kids are scientists. So there you go.
Oh, jeez. Well then,
That's a lot of. What do you talk about at dinner?
I was just gonna say that. Like that's a dinner conversation. I'd be
yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking
She's
about.
like, Legos. We talk a lot about Legos, politics.
We argue cellular structure.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes
DNA gets us every time. Helixes.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
RNA, DNA, what's the difference?
DNA, I've heard of that before on some science show I watched the other day, some murder mystery.
What is
You
it?
know,
Deoxyribonucleic acid? That's a fun trivia fact for you.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Listen, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Just plant it in there for the next bar trivia. We'll just rip it out.
I mean, it's there.
Good.
You know I have that sponge brain.
Yeah, me too.
But the
trivia.
recall is, it's brutal. It's brutal.
You guys
so
have to do a
bad.
trivia night at the gourmet shop.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, so just the the beautiful thing about the Watch Factory, all these just little pockets of excitement happening in different areas. So the yoga studio upstairs, we're looking to maybe do some joint events with them. But the daycare center right next door has tried to do evening, open nights. So you drop your kids off. So we're looking to possibly do some joint events with them. Come talk about cheese, do some tastings, etc. And by the way, you drop your kids next door for the hour while you're there. So looking
I
at
guess you're gonna have wine then too.
Hopefully.
How about balsamic vinaigrette?
Yes.
So when you asked about what product, so Caroline recently went to Parma, Italy, and brought back that little bottle of this balsamic reduction, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, that's only made in Parma. We're trying to get our hands on that.
I hope you brought back some prosciutto from there too.
Oh, yeah.
Good, because that's where the good stuff is.
Yes, it is.
Parma ham.
We also found out
Exactly.
that truffles only grow over there too.
Yeah.
Certain, like white
Listen,
truffle.
the Europeans.
They have a lot of truffles over there.
The Europeans know a thing about food.
Yeah.
You do.
They do.
Thanks for sharing. So you like the balsamic grab that you found? Anything exciting that you've been exposed to?
One of the other interesting things that we've recently been exposed to that I think will be very unique for Cheshire is, so we have meats, cheeses, and meats, right? And one of the things that you see on Cartoucherie are a lot of dried meats. And so we found a company, a small company in Vermont that sells goat salami, right? So like cow is called beef and goat is called Chevon, Chevon. So they make a Chevon salami. So we're really excited about that. That's something you're not going to see every day.
And that's a nice pairing: goat cheese, goat salami.
Right. And so there'll be some fun things like that. We're really trying to keep our eye out for interesting items like
So
that.
this sounds like an interesting little store where you can go
It's adventurous.
find, do some like adventuring in your diet.
Palate adventures.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're going to steal that. Thank you.
Maybe do some.
Enjoy, because I'll be there adventuring my palate as well.
Maybe my buddy Seth Adam will be there playing some acoustic music.
Lovely.
Hey,
Hey, we could do a podcast from there, but it's hard to podcast while you're eating,
It is.
especially the way I eat.
I've done that a few times. But,
Yeah,
but now
The
now it's going to
pretzels,
be
he used to have-
celery.
He used to have such a pretzel addiction when we're eating. I'm like, you can't.
Yeah, but now it'll be carrots and celery. It'll be bad.
You're not. I just realized.
Well, I'm doing 30 days no alcohol too.
New year, new you. No,
I'm
no craft beer, no craft cider.
Yeah, I'm
No wine.
flushing myself out. See, the overall goal is I have to lose 40 pounds.
Have to or want to?
I have to for my own mental well-being. To be honest with you, I'm very unhappy with.
Totally.
I've seen some photographs lately of
That's
me,
the
and
moment.
I'm like, wow, that's not good.
That's the moment when you know
Yeah.
I have to do that because I'm looking at pictures of myself and I'm not happy.
Leaning over, trying to tie my shoes. I'm like getting winded. Like this is not.
You got to use a
This
step,
is not
Corey.
healthy.
Use a step.
Yeah.
So I would say when I went to primarily a plant-based diet, what I found was the biggest advantage to me was my weight didn't fluctuate. I was able to eat a whole bunch of different things and the holidays and up and down. But I set a pretty base level of what my weight was, and I stayed pretty close to that.
Yeah.
That's been the most satisfying to me, actually, just that my weight doesn't go way up and way
Sure, it
down.
affects
and
your
way
mood
up.
Well,
too.
you from all appearances seem to be in good shape.
He's trim.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
No,
He's
but-
like, oh, go on.
Well, you look of average build.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Which I go.
Nobody takes compliments well.
Yeah. Well, it's just there's a couple pictures I've seen that just
Yeah.
I thought you were doing that on purpose.
no. I just see some stuff and it just
All right. No, that's the time then. You
It-
don't want
it-
it to affect your own self-confidence.
like legit get sad.
oh,
Like, oh,
sad enough
man.
to stop eating meat. That's sad.
Well,
And stop
I
drinking craft beers.
got to work out. I quit smoking like 2 years ago. Which was a nightmare.
Mid-40s, you kind of do this like, life is no longer, working for you. Now you're working for life.
Mhm.
So you made all of these mental changes. Some people hit it hard. Some people hit it gradually. But eventually, those pictures catch
Yeah.
up to you when you finally say, oh, okay.
But I'm psyched because I'm seeing a lot of changes overall. Like, we've got Olive and Henry coming to town, which sounds like a great
I'm so
spot
excited.
for me to go and get some healthier food.
And something exciting and different.
Kiss Cafe or Kiss Restaurant. I don't remember if it's a cafe or restaurant. It sounds like a great spot to go and get some healthy food, some, health conscious.
I think it's a dining restaurant.
It is.
There's
They have duck on the menu, I think.
where my office is, there's a healthy fast food place called the Salad Bar, and it's, salad wraps and stuff like that, which is nice. I think people are becoming more conscious of healthy eating and the damage that a lot of the processed foods and the boxed foods have started to do to us as a society.
Culturally.
It's kind of sickening when you really look at it from a grand scale. When you start to look at pictures of yourself and you go, oh, look, I'm becoming the person that I said I would never let myself be. And then you start to read into it and you start to do studies on stuff, and you see the change in weight by population.
Culturally, we went to a fast
There's a
food,
problem somewhere.
high fructose,
It's not just,
processed,
and it's
saturated fat, trans fats.
But you want to do that and not feel deprived, because once you start feeling deprived, your morale goes down, and then you're off
psychological
that
at that point.
diet. So, and that's another one of these drivers. You can have your own dietary lifestyle that
Yes.
you want to eat,
You can spoil yourself and still be healthy.
and still be healthy and have cool stuff to eat.
Oh,
but-
you're gonna have ice cream?
we just made banana ice cream the other night.
Delicious.
You guys gonna have ice cream?
Right now, we are planning on having ice cream. It would be sort of pre-packed in
Sure.
pints. We're hoping to partner again with local ice cream.
We have some great local shops too.
Yes, and that's something I don't know if we'll have it on day one, just because we're kind of in the winter, and we may phase that in as it gets a little nicer weather. But it's definitely something we're planning.
There's a
wonder if-
local. Sorry.
I wonder if you could make like a specialty cheese ice cream, like I don't know, something like a
We
That's
Havarti something.
Oh yeah. Well, we are working with the chocolatier that we're working with is going to make us some unique flavors that you're not going to find anywhere else, as well as a signature flavor will be the exclusive Olive and Henry flavor.
They're not going to sell to anybody but us. So
and I
Olive
think-
and Henry will be the only place you can get this one particular chocolate, which we're formulating now. So
And,
Cool.
and we haven't talked to ice cream
Chocolate.
shops about that, but I think that's a great idea, and we probably will do that with them as well.
What do you guys think about another medical building coming to town? The reason I ask this is because, everybody's like, oh my God, there's another medical facility coming to
But
town.
there's restaurants and purveyors.
That was my point is,
Yeah.
I don't care. Put 100 medical buildings in town because those will support small businesses like what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys read about that.
Oh yeah. Well, it's an influx of professionals, right?
Mhm.
And these are the people who, while they're here, right after work, they can drive literally 2 minutes to Olive and Henry and get all this stuff that they can bring home.
Or if they need to cater a lunch crowd or a meeting or a...
Exactly.
Are you guys going to do catering platters?
Yes. I mean, we're not going to do full on catering like a full meal, but to do a cartoucherie for somebody's party or a gift basket. If you're having, you're in your office, you're having a raffle or a party and you need a gift basket, we're going to do things like that too.
That's awesome.
Or
See?
a gift for a business supplier.
Yeah.
Right.
The opportunities are endless.
Right. Exactly.
And Cheshire, we need business in town. We need these office buildings, medical, whatever else they might be, are going to bring people into town that are going to spend money in town.
Exactly.
I don't understand why there's always so much objection to these things.
I agree with any business willing to come in and invest in Cheshire is amazing. My one fear's not the right word, but my one concern about having a concentration of, let's say, specifically medical buildings is my hope for the medical direction of America is one where it's more universally taken care of, where the prices are more mitigated by the powers that be.
That's a whole nother political episode there.
No, this is how
Trisha.
it plays into that. So if you have a town that supports a lot of medical buildings. Once the insurance policies change or prices change, well, then you have a mass exodus of insurance and medical buildings. Like that's my one, maybe 20 years in the future. I don't know. But I'm just saying that's my one concern about having a concentration of that type of.
Well, I just think medical buildings, the term is a very generic term.
Sure.
And there's a lot of things that fit under that umbrella.
I still
A
wait
lot.
6 weeks to see a specialist. So if you put another specialist in town, that will cut my wait down. That's specifically and maybe selfishly good.
Or it could just be a business that's going to develop technology for the medical industry, and it still falls under medical facility because it's a lab. So it could be, we can be bringing in a medical building that's going to house 150 IT professionals.
Listen, the sickening of America, we need as many medical buildings and as much medical research as possible. Bring it on.
So what else?
Olive and Henry, how'd you get there?
Well,
because it's a great name.
The official blurb is it's two old family names that we felt went very well together. But there
is a romanticism about those two words. It sounds
a little homey and quirky, but
hip.
Old fashioned and hip at the same time.
So whose family names are they?
So one of them, Olive is actually was my cat.
Okay.
And we also love martinis, so there's sort of the
dirty
Olive
martinis.
And actually, if you look close at our logo, the
trivia question.
The underline under the name has a little dot in the ampersand. It looks like a dot, but it's actually a little olive.
A little olive.
On the full one, on the other that one there.
Very cool.
And then Henry's actually a family name.
What a noble name, Henry.
But we're finding more and more young families coming up to us. My daughter's Olive. My son is Henry.
My 10-year-old's Henry.
So awesome.
And we thought we were being so out of the fold. There's a lot of Henrys.
Yeah.
I had no idea. We thought it was like an old-fashioned, old-timey name that nobody would use.
Oh, there's 3 Connors on his football team.
Well, the fact, initially we thought it was going to go to Hank. It never did, and
That's good.
He refuses it. It's Henry. And it's a heavy name to carry for a little kid.
I'm totally calling him Hank.
He has no interest in it.
I don't care.
None. Because we wanted it was going to be Jake and Hank, and nope. He will give you a look, and he's Henry.
It's all right.
Yeah.
And it's right. Yeah. So Henry it is.
My father went by
Very
Hank.
Did he? Hank Aaron.
My brother went by Bud, actually, but just informally.
Sure.
But he goes by Henry, and then we have a slew of nephews that all have Henry as their middle name. No one had the guts to name one of the grandkids.
It took a little bit of guts.
Henry.
I got a little bit of looks. It's true.
And then a bunch of uncles and granduncles and grandfathers.
It's a great, solid name.
It is a solid name.
Olive and Henry.
It's my son's middle name.
So it's a cat martini family name.
That's it.
There you go. Perfect.
Right?
We're gonna steal.
That's what I got out of that.
You got more than that. That's reductive, but
no, I appreciate it. It's sentimental. I like it.
Okay.
How's the month of no drinking going? I want to hear more about that.
I don't want to say he's a big drinker, but he drinks. So it's a decent sacrifice, commitment. What is it?
Oh boy.
You must be determined.
I don't know. It's been what's
Decades.
today, the 8th? It's been like a week.
How's that week been? How are the shakes going?
I mean, I'm fine.
DTs went okay?
I mean, I spent 14 years completely sober. So looking at a month like whatever. Because that month, I mean, for all I know, I might not drink till I'm 50. I don't know. So I just have no, like.
Yeah, we just care. We both love making cocktails, and
I do too.
All the mixology and the hunting down that specific bourbon we've been looking for, and love all that. And we have 5 kids, and none of them drink. So
we don't know where we went wrong with that one, but
come on.
But
different generation.
3 scientists, no drinkers. Come on.
But part of the
I need to stay focused.
Part of that whole healthy lifestyle thing. I mean, we love to make cocktails and we love to drink, but we don't drink during the week.
Yeah.
For that reason. And we just drink on the weekends, really Friday and Saturday. And that's when we take all our pictures to post on Instagram. But
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was doing. But with the Christmas break and everything else, it was
a lot of imbibing.
Well, that happens to us too. Yeah.
So
I don't. My husband very rarely drinks.
He had a beer when you guys were here that one night, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah, and it's not his thing. And I drank a lot in college. I drank a lot through sports, and then just didn't. Maybe through my 20s, but I am really out of practice. That's why New Year's Eve hit me so hard. I swear, drinking for me now is like a week-long commitment. Like if I'm gonna, not just having a few. That's not a process. But New Year's Eve, it took days later, I was still like, wow.
Well, I did a posting and review and pairing on some high ABV beers and some cheeses.
Oh, very cool.
It's up on Instagram, but
And double fuzzy duck came up.
No, it was not one of them,
okay.
but up in that high double-digit ABV range.
I sat down to do something like that with wine and chocolate.
Yep.
Which I thought was interesting.
Yep.
I love the pairings they come up with. So interesting.
But I'd never thought beer and
this was beer and cheese. Yeah. So it was sort of three very distinctly different flavors of cheese, and how might you?
So you guys do stuff like that at Olive and Henry?
Oh yeah.
See, that's cool.
What you're drinking and what you're eating, they really affect each other. The palate's really affected by the drink you put in and then the food you put in after.
Yep.
I love that.
I do too.
That's science-y.
It is.
Epicurious.
And one of the things Chris had talked about early on, we were talking about some of the events we could do at Olive and Henry, are different pairings, and maybe even have sort of, I hate to say this, but sort of men's night, right? So it'll be geared more towards maybe some of the heavier cheeses, some of the bourbons and really high ABV beers. We'd also do some stuff with kids, no alcohol. But we have
chocolate.
But we have a daycare right next to us, right? And we would have sort of a little cheese education with the kids and get them tasting, maybe some different things. So those kind of events, and we hopefully, we'll be doing an event in January with Cheshire Wine and Spirits to do another pairing
this month.
Thing. Yes, hopefully this month.
A lot to put together.
There's still a lot to put together, but we would like to do that this month if we can.
So you're hoping for an opening this month, January?
The store is going to be opening in March.
March, okay.
We want to do an event to stay in people's
between
minds.
now and then, we're going to be doing some events.
And expose what you're going to be offering to people. So it's
correct.
They're like, ooh, what else? Are you guys going to take like special orders? Like if somebody comes in and they said, I had this in Barcelona, a specific olive or a specific cheese or a specific whatever. Would you be able to find that for somebody?
I think we would certainly try. The one of the distributors that we're working with is really quite large in terms of all the international cheeses that they can find for us. So if anybody could find it, they could find it.
They have 17 cheesemongers just ready to go find.
We got to introduce you guys to Gary Rossini too, the truffle guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Shut up.
I always mess up names, so.
And we're small enough that we could do that. We could certainly try to find something for people.
Sure, and you never know that one person might come in with something that they tasted somewhere and you taste it's like the best thing you've ever had.
Right.
You never know. Being open to things. You might not be able to find it, but I know my husband likes a specific balsamic vinaigrette that he got one time, and we're forever on the hunt.
I'm sure you'll find it at Olive and Henry.
Well, it comes in this little pouring bottle that has a little teeny tiny cork in the top. It's so adorable. I love it.
That sounds like what you brought back.
Well, tell me the name of it, and we can see if we can
She's
find
gonna
it.
find it.
This was actually for dipping cheese. Like, how awesome is that? We're going to have this really thick, sweet balsamic vinaigrette, and you dip cheese in it.
He puts like a little cracker and then a little slice of cheese, and then he drizzles the balsamic over
Heaven.
it. It's just so...
Hey, Trisha.
Yeah.
She's literally got a house full of scientists. They could probably make it.
We're not going that far yet, but yeah.
That was a good joke. You laughed.
Well, we are
funny.
pursuing.
It's funny. Go on.
We are pursuing looking at making some of our own products that we're going to be able to showcase in the stores.
Sure.
But not.
Oh, this is exciting.
If you're tasting these incredible things to not put your own spin on it and be like,
Exactly.
you would never picture these two things together, but taste this. This week, this is what we
How about
suggest.
a local whiskey?
We've talked about it.
Well, we've already got a brand. We just haven't.
We got a brand. We got a product.
You
Did
just
a
need a
bottle
distillery.
design.
Come
We just
on.
need a distillery.
Bathtub gin. We can do it.
That's something we actually would love to do, and it's kind of in the
sky's the limit.
back burner, but we'd love to have a distillery. Yeah,
Baby steps. You're opening up a
got to start one
specialty store.
one step at a time.
yeah.
I did start learning about whiskeys finally. It was something I've wanted to do for a long time because in my head it was like Jack Daniels and Jim Beam, and I found out that that's not the case. So I've gotten into things like Whistle Pig and Blanton's and some of the higher tier stuff, and I'm going, wow, this is okay. This is a whole different thing.
Yes.
It's learning like when you go on wine tastings and there's all those different spots it hits. Whiskey's
Yeah.
the same thing, the
Yeah.
same notes and what it's curated in and how old it is and what ingredients. It's science.
It is science.
Well, but
Everything comes
we're
back
hoping
to-
for someone's gonna get some cheese and meats from us, and we're gonna want some recommendations, and we're gonna point them to another local Cheshire business, a nice spirit shop to do X, Y, and Z,
Mhm.
and they'll send people back to us and just really, create this shopping culinary experience. Just a network of
Yeah.
artisans here in Cheshire. Really, what we're hoping to
Food
do.
artisans, perfect.
It's gonna be cool. I'm stoked.
Well, we think
I am.
the town's hungry for it. No pun intended.
Cheshire's filled with
That was a good pun. Come on, I liked it.
Cheshire's filled with really passionate, caring, kind people.
You
And
think?
I do. I think Cheshire's made up of just these hardworking, wherever the passions lie, they feel strongly about stuff. And if
Where
you're
would
if
you ever
you're
get that
embraced-
idea that Cheshirites feel strongly about things?
I know.
Wouldn't be on the Cheshire Forum, would it?
Totally on the Cheshire Forum. But just in general.
We
They're,
were
salty New
cautioned that
England.
they're salty New England, very loyal was the word that we kept being told.
Yeah.
And to kind of rip people away from a place that they've been shopping.
Well, you're
for
not taking
years
them
and
away from anywhere.
That's the thing.
You're introducing them to something else to be loyal to.
That's what we're hoping.
Well, you
So,
may be preventing some people from going to Glastonbury or West Hartford to go to Whole Foods. I
Right.
mean,
Or,
Yeah.
or another
Which is
specialty
cool.
shop.
yeah, which is awesome. I'm all for it, and this is what we do. We like to.
I love trying new food. And not, you don't want to go into a restaurant and experiment with $100. You want to go someplace and experiment with $20.
Right.
And that sounds like, on a Friday night, there's a great movie on, you've got a great bottle of wine. Let's go set up our tapas, our cutting board.
Right.
What do you want? What do
Right.
you want? Do you want salami this time? Do you want Parma ham this time? I'm so here for it.
Oh, good.
So hopefully, we'll get an invite to your grand opening party,
Absolutely.
Something. Yeah.
and we can promote that. And
Absolutely.
I don't see a problem doing a podcast from the store some night. We can make that
I
happen.
have to
so.
smell all that good food and not eat it.
Yeah, it
we'll
might all
take
be-
turns. I'll be like,
it might all be gone. What happened to our inventory?
cheese. I love.
Corey.
Who doesn't love cheese? I think it's a neurological addiction. They said
Yeah.
it's your need for cheese is up there with like sugar and heroin.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Cheese.
Sugar and heroin.
Yeah, they're really highly addictive. So is cheese.
When,
Sugar's as addictive as heroin.
okay.
Well, at least I've read that.
I don't-
I've never done that.
I don't.
I don't know from personal experience.
I'm gonna go with no.
I'm serious. It has the same chemical reaction in your brain.
Nope.
I'm just saying
So
where the science leads
That's
you.
another show.
We'll be
You've-
carrying
you've
one
given
of
up
those
sugar?
two. One of those two.
One of those two.
Some say
The sugar one. That's
that'd be a great ice cream flavor. This is our new heroin flavored ice cream.
So Chris and Caroline, it's Carolyn, right?
Caroline.
Caroline. Okay. I'm sorry.
No worries.
You guys will be part of our whiskey podcast night, I guess. Then, since you're connoisseurs, this is the plan. We're gonna have.
I'll eat the cheese. You drink the whiskey.
We're gonna have 8 of us sitting around doing whiskey tasting, and we're gonna
Nice.
record the progression as it goes on, and then I'll edit into segments. It'll be interesting.
Well, we love bourbon, and we could give you some great recommendations too. I mean, you maybe already know, but we're bourbon hunters ourselves. So
Yeah, no, I would love it because it becomes a hobby almost.
Yep.
So
I have a friend from high school who does a whiskey with me. She's like a whiskey podcast or something like that, and she's been doing it for about 2 years now. And she goes out to cigar and whiskey bars and puts pictures up, and I'm like, she is a badass.
Mm-hmm. So I'd like to thank you both for coming in and telling us about Olive and Henry.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for being brave and sharing yourselves. We appreciate it.
Well, thanks for being brave and opening a small business in our town and giving us something to look forward to and have within our interesting little town of Cheshire. It's getting so, I can't wait for the next few years.
You know, Cheshire it's in a kind of a, I've only been here for 2 years, but I see like a renaissance going on, and I think it's fantastic. I see it at the Watch Factory, and I wanted to say the Watchtower.
I wanted you to say the Watchtower so bad.
It just, that more slips off the tongue. So I'm seeing it go on at the Watch Factory. I'm seeing it go on West Main, and we really like to highlight the culture that's going on. And I know you guys are opening a business, and it's a food business, but it adds to what you're doing is adding to the culture of Cheshire. It's a specialty store that will bring in different types of flavors and adventures, and thank you for taking the risk.
Well, we want families to stay in Cheshire. You know, there are cool things, and there will be cool things to do here in Cheshire. And that's been one of the drivers. We're not creating jobs. We're not a big economic force, but we're going to keep these families in Cheshire. They're going to keep paying their taxes. They're going to keep spending their money here, send their kids to school. And
people will stay, but you want them to also to spend their dollars in Cheshire.
Yeah.
Because we'll be here because the schools, we'll be here because the sports, we'll be here because of the community and the neighborhood. But when we need that specialty cheese, we're driving to, I don't know, Southington, New Haven. Now you don't have to. So you've made that experience all the
and now I
easier to
have
attain.
a painful craving for cheese. Thanks, everybody.
I have a truffle brie at home in my fridge. I might have to
Nice.
Well,
introduce myself to it this evening.
I'm gonna go find some cheese.
Good.
What are you gonna do? You gonna go?
Yeah.
You're gonna stay?
I'm going. What do you mean?
I don't know.
I gotta go home.
Okay.
I'm watching The Expanse. We're binging it. I have to go and watch a few episodes.
Well, thank you guys very much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Great meeting you.
Thank you so much.
Again.
It's awesome.
Well, Happy New Year, Corey.
Happy New Year, Trisha.
It's been a minute, so welcome
It
to
has been a minute.
2020.
You only come over for podcasts.
I do.
You used to come over for other stuff.
I was just here.
I mean, to hang out.
I was just here for Jen's birthday.
Oh, that's right.
We have some great stuff coming up in 2020. We have some great shows booked. We have some
Oh
great
my God, we
series
have
booked.
such. Oh my God, the schedule.
I know. It's going to be great.
We got police and DEA and gang members and
politicians
politicians
and business
and-
owners.
yeah, it's
And-
kind of nuts.
And financiers and college educational stuff. We have some two romance
We
episodes
do?
coming up. It's gonna be so good. Romance in the technological age. I have been romantically involved with one man for 20 years. So much has happened
Yeah.
in that 20 years. We're
What
gonna
are
catch.
we doing?
We're gonna catch
We're
up
actually
with people.
doing a show.
We're doing
like, we
a
have
pretty
a
successful podcast. Congratulations,
Yeah,
Corey.
it's wow.
Because we have great people in
Holy
Cheshire.
mackerel! All that stuff is happening. I can't wait. It's gonna
I
be
can't
awesome.
wait for somebody to come from New Haven to come to Cheshire to go to our cheese and specialty
On the day we're
meats
podcasting from
stores. That's great.
there.
Everything's looking rosy for Cheshire in 2020.
Amen. All right, so we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Let's get out of here! Like now!
Okay, so I'll see you later, huh? I'll give you a call.
Okay, see you later, pal.
Amigos, time to depart.